industries, talk to the people that in the industries that we want to increase. So for example, one was chips. So we said, we want to bring TSMC into the United States. We want to make sure that those plants are created. So let's give them a subsidy. They have to use a subsidy to build factories. No company is going to turn away free money to build a factory. They're going to do that and they're going to put their own money into it. Then once the factory is built up and the industry is there and you've hired the people you need to, you've trained all the people, then if you want to put a tariff to kind of incentivize people to shift over to American manufacturing, then that makes sense. But I generally even disagree with putting a tariff anyway, because all that does is set a new baseline of price. When we talk about tariffs, we're saying we want to increase the price. And when you increase the price, no corporation is going to say, oh, well, I'm going to put the price lower, like much lower. The price is always going to creep up.
They've been doing it, haven't they?
No.
Trump implemented tariffs on his first day. And those naysayers predicted recession the first month.
No,
so that's history.
So
and it didn't happen.
So the problem is that you're claiming that because people promise that they're going to implement, they're going to put money and they're going to invest, that means they're going to invest. I'm saying that just because they say it, it's not true. And I can give you the exact reasoning of why they say that.
No, I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you.
And that happened in Trump's first term. He did that before.
And I'm not debating that. What I'm saying, how we measure presidents in this country all before Trump is their agenda and hopefully some accomplishments. Sometimes they don't get, because they say, well, we had a Congress that wouldn't cooperate and they didn't get anything done. Yeah. Trump's only been in office for a year. Let's have this conversation in 3, or tell me why you're having it in 1.
Well, I'm having it in 1 because the policy is incoherent. It's so incoherent that it's going to the Supreme Court and they're figuring out if it's even legal or not.
If it's incoherent, isn't our treasury increasing because of tariffs?
It is, because we're taxing people more. That's what's happening.
Isn't it everyone's goal, both Democrat and Republican, to reduce our debt?
But we're not going to use it we're not using it to reduce the debt. You already heard what he plans to do with that money. Give everyone tariff rebates. So that's not going to reduce our debt.
Everybody no tariff rebates.
That's what he said.
Y'all hear free money and y'all be holding on to that.
That's what he said. And in fact, he said we're going to replace it with income tax.
He was speaking of the possibilities of it happening. He ain't said that he didn't say a time, a date, or nothing as to when any of that.
He said it to the point that Scott Bessent had to come and clarify and say, "Oh, actually, it might come in other ways." Like he had to be very specific again.
Why do you analyze every word or every?
You should. I mean, you should. He's the president. You should analyze what he says.
I
would think so, right?
Trump supporter.
You don't think we should listen to the president's words?
No, I think you should take what he says with a grain of salt and say actions over words, because he's a whole lot of theatrics. He's a whole lot of performative theater. Because that's his game.
That's true. But the other issue that I'm having is there's another conversation happening about removing income tax and replacing that with tariffs. And that's a serious conversation. That's not, he said it multiple times and in multiple conversations, and he keeps reiterating that's the plan.
I hope it get done.
If that's the plan, then your whole ideology about bring manufacturing back makes no sense at that point. Because if you're saying that you want manufacturing back, that means we'll have no revenue from the tariffs. If we have no revenue, how are we going to fund anything in the government?
If we increase manufacturing, we take the tariffs off.
Exactly, but that where's the income that's going to come in?
My background is American manufacturing. What I'm telling you, we're not asking for an advantage. We're just asking for a fair playing field. That's all.
No, I'm agreeing. I'm saying if you remove the tariff, then there's no money coming in from the tariff. So how can you use no money for the income tax now? Because before you're saying, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I see. He didn't say no. He said no. He said a flat tax is what I've heard, not no income. But
no, he said no income tax. He said it's going to be replaced by the tariff.
I mean, Trump has said a lot of things. And
I ain't gonna lie. They didn't introduce the bill for the income tax and the Federal Reserve.
He said that for people making under.
He said he was going to get
it's
Mexico
under a
to
certain
build the
amount.
wall,
It's not
too.
for everybody flat. It's for under a certain amount. Might even be for under 500K, something like that.
I mean,
I forgot what it was.
I mean, still, even that's not enough money to sustain what he wants to do. I mean, if he wants to increase the military budget by another, well,
I mean, I'm just saying, when we look at, I'll be honest with you, for the fact that we've grown and increased just from Clinton's administration up until now is where you've seen this expansion of our debt, right?
37 trillion.
And it was
correct.
only 5 trillion.
It was zero. It was a
5.7.
balanced budget.
No, it was 5.7 trillion at the end of Clinton's term, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was
then-
a balanced budget. He held
But that's
himself
still not bad. 5 trillion of debt ain't bad.
That's not
That's
bad.
really not bad based on the bills
versus,
we're paying.
versus today.
Versus today, what we're doing. It's like, well,
I'm
what the
with
fuck
you.
are we buying?
Well,
what are
well,
we doing?
well,
What are
the
we
issue-
not paying?
Well,
And
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'm just saying, like, when you think about that, I don't even know if we fully know based on the outside looking in what this would look like to do this, because I don't think y'all take into real consideration the levels of fraud that have occurred in our country over decades that we all as Americans have complained about and wanted to know what the fuck is going on. And then when you do see these things revealing, I do hope and pray that none of what we're seeing is bullshit in the fraud area and that people will be on perk walks with silver bracelets. Because at this point, I don't care what side you on, left, right, in the middle, on the sidelines, I don't give a fuck. If you are shoveling suitcases of money through airports, I don't care who was involved. But we can't take a bottle of lotion out to the airport, but you can funnel money through suitcases. I don't watch the TV show about that. They will sniff the dogs out on you for any little thing. You can't take $10,000 out of casino without writing up a SAR. So every little dollar we spend and things that we do in our realm of money, we're clocked for. But these people be stealing and just shipping money off the offshore accounts. We don't really know what the budget really looks like and what the books really look like. So I'm willing to see it through because it can't be too far off worse from where we already are. Our country is already headed, or before I believe he got in office, it was definitely headed on the brink of insolvency. Insolvency. You don't want your country to be filing bankruptcy technically. Because then
the problem is that you can't say that and then at the same time pass a bill that increases the deficit by $4 trillion or $3 trillion. Like you can't still do deficit spending and then say you want to decrease the deficit. That makes no sense. Like you have to be consistent.
In some ways, but I haven't been down that road so many months ago. I'm be honest.
No,
so much information has come through. I don't even know if I can circle the block on that one, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean because people had a lot of questions about that. But that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's seeing this in a different way that we don't. And I caught him a couple times when he discusses the world. He almost slips and calls them companies. And I think that's probably the appropriate way to look at it. And connected around the world, we are one huge ass business.
Here's my question though: if it's doing so bad, why is my 401k almost tripled, and why has everything else like gone up through the roof, money wise? Like if you're invested in America right now, you're getting paid in America right now.
It has nothing to do with reality. Stocks tomorrow can go down.
Well,
negative.
my retirement fund, because I'm 50 years old and I've been investing since I've had my career. My retirement fund lost massively the last 4, and then it lost again in 2008, which is the world did, and it lost again in 2020. But I've tripled this year, and I'm not even joking about when I say tripled. I've tripled my amount in just 401k alone.
That's great, but it depends on what your 401k is invested in.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm dominating the conversation. Go ahead,
Absolutely,
Corey.
it is.
Yeah.
But still, at the same time, the ideal that people keep saying, "Oh, we're doing so bad." Gas prices are down throughout the country. Throughout the country, there's no denying that. And gas is down, which is true. And gas moves everything in America, from everything that we eat, everything we buy, everything is down. So this delusion that we're bad.
Everything is not down. Stop spreading disinformation.
But everything is down, though. Most products are
You're
down.
talking about you're talking about gas. Okay, so what? You can get the work. Great job.
No, it's not.
No,
it's bigger
so
than just work. See, again, you're simple-minded.
You have to
You're
listen.
simple-minded to understand what gas is.
One at a time.
You're
No,
too
because
simple-minded.
that's the bullshit.
No.
that
The
y'all
ideal
base
that
the
gas doesn't
economy
move
on
everything
is
in
gas.
America.
Let's talk
Gas
about
moves
your monthly
everything in
overhead.
America, bro.
Let's
You
talk
guys are
about your
delusional
monthly
how
overhead.
big gas
Our
prices
monthly
have to be
overhead is the
for us to
problem.
have sustainable
Taxes
more
out of
money in our
paycheck
pocket.
is a problem.
Y'all are crazy, bro. Why
We
is
talk
it that
about
why is it
senseless
the
shit.
Democrat states that have taxed their people through the roof are the ones struggling the most right now? Explain that to me. Why are the Democratic states the ones having the biggest flight of their residents because of the taxes? Explain that to me.
Democrat states fund red states.
That's not
Right.
true at all. That's a delusional y'all live in, bro.
Democrat states have more working class people than the red
Democrat
states.
states mostly have more people in them than most Republican states. That's why they
Man,
give more
listen.
taxes, you morons, because your
Why are you insulting
population
people,
is
bro?
more in there.
We're
Why
just
you so
talking.
fucking hostile, bitch ass?
Because
nigga?
you've been talking like a punk in here and I've been quiet the
You's
whole
a
time.
fucking punk
What's
puss
going on with
ass
this dude?
motherfucker.
Hey,
You
that's
come up in
crash
here
out.
trying
That's
to put down and
Nah, I'm
shit.
just coming
That's
up here
crash
calling
out.
y'all
Motherfucking
y'all
check yourself.
gaslighting bullshit out.
You
Y'all
can check
talk
your little
hate
sass
America
ass.
so goddamn much, but you benefit
You
off
voted
of it.
for MAGA because you can't find
Once
no
again,
fucking
Hey,
woman.
don't
You
worry
need to
about
find a
Ken.
fucking job.
You can't name any
That's
legislation.
Ken. Wait, that's
Like,
Ken. He hasn't
you
I
I
found the
wouldn't give
clit
a
yet.
fuck
Take
So
my
he
name
should
out
be
your
dead.
mouth, White Rose.
Nah, I won't. What are you gonna do about it?
Stay on top of your head. I'll follow you to every room you go to just to call you out.
He's weird.
Petty nigga with no fucking life. Find a woman, nigga. Get some ass.
This is what I don't understand, though. This reiterates my point. All of the things that Republicans believe have progressed our society have come from progressive liberal ideologies. And they want to down talk, but can't name any legislation that actually has done any fucking progress. But you just want to take credit for things that have actually been pushed by progressive liberalism. And it's crazy to me that y'all still up here caking for these motherfuckers, because all they've done is help the top 1%.
It's also kind of weird, honestly, it's weird to even talk about 401ks or stock market, because the stock market and 401ks were up under Biden. Like, we hit record highs under Biden, but people still had an affordability issue. And that was the number one reason they said, at least they said on the, post vote, why did you vote for whatever side, is because of the economy. So if people could see that their stock was up, things were doing good as far as the 1%, they were doing good, but the people's material reality wasn't doing as great, then you can't say that that's the reason why you think things are good. I mean, it was the same again back then as it is now. It's going higher, but that's because people are just, like, okay, what he did that with the tariffs doesn't seem to have caused a lot of chaos, as much chaos as they thought. So, okay, that means skyrocket to the moon. It's just people's thought process on what it is. If tomorrow he decided to go after Greenland and take it over, and then a whole bunch of other countries decide to say, we're dumping your dollar, then the stock market would turn to zero. Like, it just depends on people's thought process about America. It has nothing to do with your reality, especially if you're not invested, and most people aren't invested in the stock market.
And the stock market is so reactionary to whatever Trump does, and not to mention the things that he did during his first couple months in about blanket tariffs. It caused so much volatility in the stock market that we did lose some of our 401k potential earnings. Now, we gained it back, yes. And I know he was lying about him losing in his 401k, because I know no one lost in their 401k during Biden. Some of them during the first 2 years, maybe, but no way you've lost over the last 4 years. That's just like, and that's the thing. I don't want people to be like, and I want people to understand, I'm not just speaking this shit. I have a program that one of these TikTok creators put me on to. It's about community engagement. You engage with your neighbors, speak to your neighbors, talk to them about community engagement, about opening up lines of communication with your neighbors, understanding who your neighbors are. And the first thing I did when I spoke to my neighbors was talking to them about a lighted up session for our block, because it's proven that if you have lit homes, you have less chance of burglary. Now, that's a positive thing to engage with your neighbors with. The next step is to have a block party and have more engagement with each neighbor so that we can establish a more community-based organization where we can do block patrols, walk the blocks, and ride share
like
or mentorship
shit. Nah, my guy.
Say it again.
I said you sounded like some Fred Hampton type shit. Nah, my guy.
Well, that's what
that's
the
what
point.
that's what
to
it's
get
all about,
engaged.
and a lot of people not understanding that we don't have community no more, and they're ripping our community out of us by attacking us on one another rather than looking at them. They the fucking problem. They've been the problem.
I ask you gentlemen something. As a daughter of a block captain who used to do all the things you're talking about, our block had light poles and everything in front of everybody's house, addresses, flower beds, painted curbs, and everything. It was the Philadelphia More Beautiful Block Committee that actually used to set this up in the neighborhoods. And basically you reach out to them, they help provide you all the things you need for beautification of your neighborhood. If you're homeowners, this is the best way for you to do it. It's hard for people to do it as renters, which is a lot of the reason why you probably don't see a lot of that. A lot of people rent now. It's not as many homeowners as it used to be. And people don't own their homes long neither, so they're not getting dug in their neighborhood. You do have to know your neighbors. This is why we had villages and communities. So if you gentlemen are homeowners and are able to go down to your city hall and go apply for those licenses and paperworks to be able to become a block captain so that you can be that person responsible, or maybe vote on someone in that neighborhood that is responsible enough to do that, you can start getting those things done. It's not impossible to do. But this is the shit, as you're saying, I'm not on the team of which y'all agree with, right? Or who you voted for, but I totally agree with your concept and your ideology because it is the only way. My father used to get free lunches from the Department of Agriculture so that the kids who would come out and do street cleaners on Tuesdays and Saturdays in the summertime in the neighborhood, that he would basically be able to feed them. He used to get all types of stuff for community, for the neighborhood. We used to have block parties, get the permits, block 3 whole blocks off, and have a whole celebration every summer. This is what I grew up in. So if you gentlemen want to do it, it can be done. You just have to do the legwork.
I'm in the process of doing
Wait,
it. Right?
Aris, you beat me to it. I was going to say about that. I was going to say we had that in Philly, the block captain thing.
In Philly, yes, I'm from Philadelphia. Absolutely.
Me too.
Yep. Block captains and everything. And they all got together and met, and they made sure to get what they needed for their communities.
Yeah, my dad was like a ward leader and all that. Like,
yeah, a little trolley would come around and judge the neighborhoods and shit. And I think my father won like 2nd or 3rd place one of the years. It was really hard because there was a lot of blocks that they considered. Yeah, we had the little fire hydrant painted like a little dog firefighter. It was the cutest.
Y'all stay in city.
Well, look.
They have
Florida.
they have this one
I
program now.
don't know how different it might be. But go ahead, what'd you say?
They have. I'm sorry.
What I'm trying to do, and what this is on the end goal is political. Because if any of you have been to city council meetings, you understand the chaos that they are. You have a lot of people saying a lot of different things, trying to get the same message across. My idea is to get more community unity in these spaces. But I know it's going to take more gradual rapport and trust and understanding of what each neighbor seeks as value. Now, I know common values are we want lower prices, we want better education, we want better roads, we want better conditions in our area. I know those can be common goals. If I can get 60 to 90 people to go to a community council meeting and we all sit and speak verbatim about the things that we want to improve in our community, in our neighborhood, I'm sure that we can see some type of attention from our council members. And see, this is the goal is what, when we talk about politics, you need to be talking about home, not just Trump, not just Biden, because your local legislators are what's really affecting you. Federal laws do have effect, but it's your state and local laws that are really either making your life harder or making your life easier.
100%. We just had an election for Georgia Power, and they did that interrupt you, Tony? Sorry.
Oh no, you didn't interrupt me. Go ahead. I was just saying that's 100 right there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, we had an election for Georgia Power recently where they were increasing our prices every year for the past 4 years, even after they just brought up I think this is the biggest nuclear power plant in the United States. And they promised that prices were going to go down. We have so much more energy. Prices have just been going up. They've been approving 20% increase, 30% increase. And it's just because the whole board was basically captured by the same authority figures. So people didn't know anything about that. And they have elections every year. People just kept selecting the same people. This year, the word got out like, okay, like we can make a change if we just get these people off the board. that happened. And now we have two people that are actually not captured by the same, money. So we're hoping that, next year that we'll be able to get prices down or, the same as they were. So yeah, you're totally right. It's about your local communities. It's about like what's going on in your area.
Each individual can do these things. Tony, you may not be in a flooded community like mine where I have 50 houses on my block. You understand? But you can still go talk to your neighbor. And like I say, just initiate a lighted up. The lighted up program is just a way of basically getting your foot in the door to let them know my intentions are good. They're based in merit. I want people to work with each other. I've had a lot of mentorship going on with young men that I would have thought that you see in the hood where you call them YNs. These young men want to learn. They want someone to guide them. And that's something I've taken on myself where it's like not even trying. They just, hey, Mr. Page, can you show me how to do this with this car? Sure, come on, I'll show you what you need. Or can you help fix this part of my, and then I'm teaching them as I'm fixing it. And I know that eventually some of these guys is going to use that knowledge and they're going to build themselves up to be more than what they thought they could be. And like I say, there's so much positivity and potential in our communities if we choose to engage. I've had several people shut their door on me, my first initial knock, because y'all seen my face. I'm 6 foot, 180 pounds, black man. They're going to look at me like the criminal. But when you hear me speak and talk to me for a minute, you see that I have logic. And for the white folks, I'm very articulate. I know how to pronounce my words properly, but I have progress in my mind. So a couple guys came back and knocked on my door and was like, I heard what you had. I want to be a part of it. So now I'm like, our next step is block patrol. I'm gonna try to get guys, give me 30 minutes of your day. Just let's walk this area. Let's walk this area. Let's make sure all the kids is okay. If they need walking home, these things.
I think they was finding kids back in the day faster because people was together. They was like, you get over there, you get over there, we get over there. They knew where everybody was.
13-year-old girl probably like have been essayed. For me, I have granddaughters. I will lose my ever loving mind. I'm probably in prison after something like that. So I don't want any other parent to have to relive that. So motivations are there. And then, like I said, on the big scheme, if we can get these same people that go to these city council meetings to go to the ballot box and vote for the politicians that are similar in mind, that will help pass legislation on a federal level, those are micro solutions that each individual can practice and try to implement. I passed the grenade.
Did he say pass the grenade?
Say the hot potato.
Hot potato, my bad.
We might have to start using that one. Pass the grenade. What happened to Bob though? He got out of here.
Corey, my city already been gentrified, man. We already, man. Listen, bro, the neighborhood that we grew up in. I'm pretty sure y'all heard of the Florida Sentinel, right? Like
one second, real quick, Mr. Tony. BJ, get your little ass up here if you think you can cook. Let's go. Come up here. You was up here and you left. I don't know why you left.
I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood with wealthy motherfuckers. My grandparents were well off, but that whole neighborhood, man, I'm talking about, we didn't grow up seeing white people over there. Nah, shit, that shit over with. All around Tampa, our projects gone. Like they undispersed all that. We don't see none of that no more. Gentrification is here.
Hey, bro.
To the suburbs. What you
Hey,
think,
bro.
Tony?
Even them white folks, because there are no black communities, y'all. We need to relinquish that myth.
Yeah.
Like even if they are predominantly black, they don't have the infrastructure that we're talking about as a community is supposed to have. They don't have their own grocery store. They don't have their own hospitals. They don't have their own bank.
I mean, being here, growing up here, those are things that we grew up with. We had black hospitals. My parents went to black hospitals and shit here. Those are things that we had here in Tampa. But now, that all that stuff gone. They made sure they got rid of all that. Whether turn to schools, man, the from a black city, all we got is statues along the river, marking that we once was here, not no more. So but it, I used to take offense to it, but now that I look around, and now that I actually bought a house in the city, I'm happy as hell. I got equity. Shit. I'm okay with it. Why? Because if we couldn't do what was right with it, and others are coming in and these people are happy and they're investing into the neighborhood, and the property value is rising over there, so be it. It wasn't right that it had to happen that way. No, it wasn't. But there's still people in that area, young kids in that area, people growing up, whether they white, black, whatever. People still want to live peaceful lives.
What's even the way to fight against gentrification, though? Because it feels like you would have to have policy that maybe protects people who've been there for a certain amount of time from like property tax increases. Because that also pushes people out, right? And they push people away.
That's what cleared Tampa out a lot. A lot of people was behind on their taxes, and a lot of people start coming around, posting those signs, buying houses, selling houses, all that good stuff. And that's how they eventually got a lot of people out. People were in debt. They were trying to clear their name. And next thing you know, when I start seeing charter schools pop up and I start seeing them revamping parks around, I knew what was going on. Because without education and recreation, you don't have property value going up. And they prop the property value up with bullshit schools. That's all they did, because they captivated prime real estate with charter schools, and that bumped the property value up around it. And also told people who were buying that it was a school over here, but you not being from this area, like a lot of people were when they on the mad rush down here, they didn't know what kind of schools they were buying into. They got down here and realized that we had poor education. But you had a lot of your parents had a lot of equity, but the kids had no education, which in turns which in turns lead to dumbass kids growing up not knowing how to protect the inheritance.
That makes sense. You just have the equity. You don't have more than that. Yeah.
Right. And then you don't have generational wealth, which a lot of people see that happening over the last 10, 15 years, kids not knowing how to protect generational wealth.
Yeah, it's hard to, if you're selling it. I mean, if you sell it to your house, even houses in the city I'm in, there are some houses that look super run down, but those houses, if you look on Zillow, they're like $2 million, and that's what they're going for. And if somebody just stayed in the house, they would have, $2 million home. I'm in the middle of the city, but you can't afford the taxes on that. That's the problem. That's the problem.
About Atlanta, Gator.
Yeah,
Hey, my homeboy live in the Bluff, and they like doing this park. But it's funny you mentioned that. Tone mentioned that, because they're redoing this park. They're gonna make it like a dog park, right? And it's a house down by the end of his block that's going for $800,000, like literally in the Bluff. I don't know if y'all familiar with the Bluff, but the Bluff was like a known smug area.
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
Yeah, Snow in the Bluff. It's literally Snow in the, like, it's that area.
Oh shit!
But it's literally like one house for sure. That's 800,000. He was telling me about. I said 800,000.
So, 5 years ago, we going through the same thing. I see it in my neighborhood. We bought 5 years ago for 170, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 170. Down the block, 3 blocks down, they just sold. I think they sold it. They probably rented out because it was up for sale for so long. But that motherfucker was going for $425.
Yeah. Yeah.
425. So, and the one across the street from it, 400. And it's like, what's going on? How did this happen?
And the crazy thing is the material. The houses ain't even like made like they used to make. You know what I'm saying? They be throwing them up so quick. They ain't really using good material.
They don't
nothing
care.
That.
Do you ever watch those inspection videos? Sometimes they come up on TikTok where there's house inspectors. They go to the new builds and they look at like if everything is proper.
Oh, I have seen that. Be
Yeah.
like, look, that wood worse. Yeah, I have seen that. Dude be riding around like new developments. I've seen
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, the handle's shaking, the faucet's not connected to this properly to this. It's like, what? What's going on? They're like, oh yeah, there's holes all here, all in the walls. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, they
So
be
these
just
people-
throwing them up.
Yo, man.
What's going on, Fly Guys? About to ask, did you get in
Not
yet?
much,
Go
man. Not much. Yeah, just taking in a little knowledge. But I just came up because, you know, I heard old boy say, you know, we hate America and whatever, man. But I just came up to straighten that shit out, man. I don't hate America. I just hate them foot on the neck motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I just hate them motherfuckers that go out and disparage us and shit, and you know, help make the motherfucking road harder and shit. You know what I mean? But now I think we starting to realize that we got to start sharing our information with our younger generation, because that's where they beat us at. You know what I mean? They you know, you have these older cats that start their kids out with trust funds and all kind of licenses, and you know, they just beat before they even 18. Like a lot of them have so much set up for them and so much information that, you know, we just couldn't keep up with that. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have the information that they had. But now it's just important for us to make sure that our next generation do have that information. Like we have to put in the footwork. We have to go and see what we qualify for, make sure they know exactly what we leaving them. You know what I mean? We leaving you a house, we leaving you this, that, and the third. So you got to know how to maintain it. You got to know how to keep it. And you gotta teach them how to grow it. So I think we getting there. I think we getting to that point where we doing that. So it's a whole lot of changing going on, and I like it. I really do. I like it. I like, you know, I like the direction we going in. But a lot of us ain't gonna be able to go because a lot of us ain't going in the same direction.
But don't you remember, like, I think it's kind of, I was talking to my nephew about this. I think it's kind of Generation X fault that we dropped the ball, because I can remember my elders telling me about the game. And I don't think we did that with, you know what I'm saying, the next generation. Or we got frustrated, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, they just know everything and we ain't gonna tell them no more, you know what I mean? It was real weird. Like, but I can remember my elders telling me, like, don't go there. Or, you know what I'm saying? This is what you need to do. And you know what I mean?
I think it was hard. I think it was hard for our generation because, you know, like you in your 40s, I'm in my 40s. You know, our fathers, I mean, shit, they were struggling trying to find themselves, you know, coming out of hard times and going through the situations they was going through in life. A lot of them had kids young. They didn't know how to be fathers. I didn't learn into my 40s that my father having me, even my uncle having my cousin, that pushed them to the military. You know, I didn't know things like this, you know, but these guys, they didn't know anything to teach us. You know, they just graduated high school, and that's all they said that they had to do was graduate high school.
Well, if you're not started out with responsibility, it's easy to get lost. You know what I mean? It takes a long time. It takes a long time to discipline yourself, to figure out what you want, how you want to get it, what's good for you, what you want to do for your life. If you're doing that all for yourself and figuring it out by yourself, sometimes it takes a little longer. Sometimes people know what they want to do and they just going to do it. But if you actually need some kind of guidance, because some people, you know, it takes a little longer for shit to, you know, for you to get disciplined and shit. So if it started out with a little bit of responsibility and shit, and people pass stuff down to you, it forces you to be disciplined a whole lot sooner. Because if you want to keep it, you're gonna knuckle down. You're gonna do what you gotta do. But if you ain't got nothing, you just out here living day for day and shit, and you just out here partying and shit. By the time you ready to accumulate something, you 40 and 50. And that shit, and then it's real hard then.
Yeah, that's
you know, and that's
don't you.
But it's not impossible.
When you leave
But it's
them
not
the
impossible.
expectation- Don't you think sometimes when you leave them the expectation that they're being left something behind, a lot of them people, some of these people just up and say, oh, you know what, I got something coming. And, you know, they don't even try to work for anything. They just have expectations of receiving something.
That's also possible.
That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like Blagger is. I feel like black people that's claim to be conservatives and black and shit. I think that's them dudes. You know, they so used to having their fucking hand out. They waiting for the government to do some shit. See, the people that was out here actually putting in the work and had dreams of where they want to fucking go, they knew they could use what Kamala Harris was pushing. They knew they could use that $25,000 for that first-time home buyers. We knew we could use that $50,000 tax write-off on the business. Like we heard her. But for the people that was just sitting back, well, what you gonna do for black people? You're gonna give us some money, you're gonna give us reparations. If you looking for handouts, then you fucked up in the beginning. You already ain't doing what you supposed to do to accumulate your own shit. You already fucked up. You know what I mean? So what's somebody else supposed to do to you? What's somebody else supposed to do for you?
Even saying something as simple as they're taking your job is a fucking handout in a sense, because you're looking for somebody to take something from somebody else and give it to you or make it a better opportunity so you can get it. That's a fucking handout. That's not pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. Not at all.
I think more than anything, what I want is just a fair opportunity. Just get me to the start line. I can run the race on my own. I just need, you know what I'm saying, the availability to get to that start line without any hiccups. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we the best out of making lemonade out of lemons. You know what I mean?
There's gonna be hiccups, man. I'm gonna find this link. There's this white guy that says something the other day, bro. He was like, yo, the world is full of injustice, period. Right? And he said some shit. He coined himself as being successful. And one of the things that he said is that, you know, he's always had a hard time working for people. Like, he'll go to try to work for them and then they'll terminate him. And he was like, from my perspective, the world is full of injustice. And his thing is, just to try to find a way to get past it. Not something, whatever, that's something that, in my opinion, we have to figure out. Fly guy. So yeah, a minute ago you said, you mentioned an age bracket, right? You said 40 by the time you hit 40s and 50s, right? And let me say this, that dude, damn Colonel KFC, he didn't make his joint until he was 55, right? There's a lot of late boomers, what's his name? Rocky, the dude that's Rocky, Sylvester Stallone. He didn't get into the game until he was 35. You know what I mean? There's really no age.
Possible, but
absolutely.
I kind of agree with him. It's a little bit harder though, but it isn't.
I don't know if it's easier. If you could look at certain people that they crash and burn, then you look at certain people that they should have crashed and burned. Like a Robert Downey Jr., right? I mean, that dude should be out of here. You know what I'm saying?
What's the measurement
of
like
R.I.P. homie from back in the 90s, right? And along comes Iron Man.
Helped him out too, though. His dad helped him out too.
What?
Never got a shame.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah. But he
Okay.
bounced back on
Yeah,
his own,
no,
though.
I'm
You
talking
can't
about.
take that away from him.
You know what I'm
I'm talking
saying?
about standing at the line. I'm talking about standing at the line after you done come through 30, 40 years of your life. It took you 34 years to actually come out of the dressing room to actually put your foot on the line and get ready to race. Now you ready to run the race.
Well,
Now, if you haven't prepared yourself, you haven't done any kind of prep, and you just going on the notion, I know I can burn rubber, I know I can run fast. Everybody else done been practicing, everybody else done been in these races, for so length, and you running up against these people that done been in race after race after race, and here it is, you just not getting on the line, and you think you finna go out there and burn rubber just because you know you can run. Or you say, I got a good idea, I got a good business, I'm gonna run this thing like this. But unless you have toned yourself down, disciplined yourself, and get the right information to you, know what your rights are, know what your laws are, know what can help you put your foot in the door a little faster, it takes a little longer, because then it just takes you putting in the footwork and going out and talking to different people,
okay.
and letting this one, and letting this one say this and let this one say that. It just, sometimes the stars line up.
How long you been DJing? How long you been DJing?
I've played for my family my whole life, barbecues and a couple of weddings here and stuff like that. I'm not mainstream like that.
But can you go to a club and pack a club about now?
Yeah, if they 40 and up.
Yeah, all right. Listen, I gotta tell you something, bro.
That's a lot of us,
bro. Listen, I'm here. I feel like everything that you just described is like being a DJ. I'm sorry to just analogize that. You know what I'm saying? I know I could probably do a couple of records back to back, but I can't blend. I don't know when to drop and start saying, yeah, auntie in the back. I don't. You know what I'm saying? And I can't pack a club.
No, that's not my business. That's not my money maker.
Well,
my
I
money,
gotta tell you something. I mentioned the DJ thing because I grew up in the Bronx, right? I got friends that have been DJing since high school, parks, right? Listen, some of them got jobs working in the MTA and still was doing parties, right? In the city, in their local, in the city, Manhattan, and also going like the Bronx, Westchester County, bro. That shit is a money maker. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta tell you, it takes some effort. I don't think there's anything in this world that's supposed to be easy. There's no race that you're always going to win. No race where you're always going to win, but you got to be ready to just be in it.
No, my point was, I just think it's time that we pass on what we are starting to do for ourselves. I mean, because we're starting to focus on rights. We're starting to focus on laws. We're starting to focus on what's important to us, what brings us equity, what gets us money, how to hold money, how to keep money, how to pass money down, how to pass information down. And I think we get into the point where that's important for this generation right here. Okay. The generation that's just coming up, the alpha generation, that we make sure we inbred it in them. Look, this is the opportunity you got. If you can run with it, then you run with it. I mean, we gonna have to put in the work, but shit, man, a lot of these goddamn kids got more money than I got. You see these little kids online with full-blown businesses, and then you see some little girl that open up her own bakery at 14 years old.
Yeah, I mean, they're utilizing social media, right? You do it. They just hit it a little bit younger, right?
I own an appliance repair business. I do.
Oh, so then, damn, bro.
Oh yeah. No, I'm good. I'm just saying it's just time that we pass it on. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but that's all. Like I said, that's all I came up because I'm just tired of them here and talking about we hate America. No, we don't hate America. We hate you foot on the neck, motherfuckers. We hate you motherfuckers that go out and disparage us and put bad juju on our fucking names and go around the world putting everybody in one fucking box.
Who's your foot on the neck?
And that damn
Blagger?
we gotta come together shit. Y'all see, we gotta leave that shit alone. Let it go. It ain't gonna happen. All of them can't come with us.
I don't understand. I really don't understand. Like Blagger tripped me out, but
yeah, I get what you're saying about all of them can't come.
Rejected though.
You said a mouthful, and if they walk away from that Blagger MAGA shit, they gonna feel even more rejected. This right here, that Blagger and MAGA shit, man, that's the closest tie they got to any fucking thing. Why? Because if they are black, most black people in their life have walked away from their ass and don't want to hear that shit. Cause my cousin, he like MAGA. I run politics down his motherfucking throat. You ain't finna tell me no bullshit. You ain't finna try to make me think about you're not finna make me think about no nuclear family because your marriage fucked up. That's your marriage, nigga. Get that shit right, motherfucker.
It's always
I know why they like.
It's always
nah, these motherfuckers want to politic. They want to politic their way in some draws. They want to politic their way into some fucking money. They want to do everything but do what they goddamn say is pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Bitch, get that tread out your motherfucking neck, nigga. That's what the fuck you do.
Let me tell you, man. Every Blagger,
them contradict them motherfucking ass backwards in 76. And the motherfuckers can't even recognize the motherfucking patterns of fuck up shit.
Every Blagger I run into, it's like you start hearing their background. It's crazy. Like there's people that they're like, yeah, I was Democrat. I was living in the projects. It's like, yo, they didn't see the value. They didn't see the value in doing all that then. Now it's crazy. I don't know what to say, but I feel you. Listen, let me run, man.
They fell in the ass and stank about is the
what you just said about felons. I wasn't even trying to
out of jail free and shit.
Yeah, I wasn't even trying to go there about the felons. But that's a lie.
But that's the number one thing that they bring up. And you know, they always want to talk about the 94 crime bill. Well, bitch, you should have set your ass on the motherfucking porch and been green as fuck. Maybe your ass went to jail. Maybe that makes sense, motherfucker.
Peace out,
but
appreciate you.
But all they want to talk about is how they went to jail because they got caught. You got caught committing the motherfucking crime, and goddamn, no, it's not fair to say that the punishment was right, but it was a motherfucking punishment. That's all that goddamn matters. If you wouldn't have been doing the fucking crime, they wouldn't have had no reason to give your ass an inappropriate punishment. None of them motherfuckers talk about that shit. But at the same time, they'll sit back and say they love women and all this shit, not realizing that the 94 crime bill kept them from putting their fucking hands on a woman. They don't think about that shit.
Yeah, they skip that part now.
Right. They always skip that motherfucking part. Because as I said, they weak asses want to legislate their way up into some fucking panties. The woman didn't want to have your baby because you's a weak ass nigga. You were supposed to be a provider, and yet you want her to have a child with you, and you broke. That shit don't even calculate, bitch. They taught you that in algebra. Forgot you didn't finish school, so you wouldn't know shit about that.
Like a brother that learned something new in prison and want to come out with that shit.
Man,
can't wait to hit them streets. He can't wait to hit them streets. Nigga, I learned how to be a 3%er, and I'm gonna tell you this.
I hate to say you right, but my brother, he locked up. He kind of like that. He be trying to tell me everything. But like, bro, I'm out here, bro. No, this is what you got to do. I be like, all right, man.
Yo. Them niggas go to prison and realize that they realize they've been breaking. They go to prison and realize that they've been breaking this shit down in the 16 O's, not realizing that it's 16 motherfucking lines in a motherfucking inch. And they go to prison and learn this shit, and they want to come out and try to get a motherfucking job. Nigga, you should have been doing that shit, you smart businessman. You smart motherfucker.
Let them get it. Don't kill them, young blood. Don't take their life, man. Don't let them get it how they get it. Hey, man, bro, I appreciate y'all letting me up, man. Y'all,
Hey,
young
man,
fellas,
appreciate you, man.
Hey, keep your foot on the ground. Tell your brother keep his head up, man.
All right, man. Yeah, definitely. He coming home this year. Hey, every time he
Nice.
comes, I got
Nice.
10 months. I got 9 months.
Oh,
Hell
word. Hey, man, I'll come through and support you, big dog, and I'll come up and holler at you sometime, man.
Yes, sir. And when you do it up, man, you let us know, man, and we'll definitely promote you, man.
Ooh, boy, that'll be something big right there.
Yeah,
boy.
we might have to do a TikTok demo.
All you gotta do is pass by my page. There's gonna be a big ass picture up there with a big Kool-Aid smile. You gonna be like, that nigga got that deal.
Okay. It's coming too.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
All
waiting
right,
on
big
it. It's
fella.
coming. All right, man. Be safe.
All right, you too, big dog.
All right,
Y'all
man.
be safe.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
All right, you
see
too, bro.
What it do, man? How you doing?
What up, yo? How you?
Chilling. What would you like to add?
Nah, I was listening to him, yo. He went in, man. I never, hey, to each his own, man. I don't get on here trying to, convert nobody, but I mean, I think, man, that's it's a hell of a presentation, man. I know some people that were incarcerated that were really innocent. I know some people that were really set up, man. I know some people that got locked up, came home, and they millionaires right now. Not actually millionaires, but they run a company that's worth millions. So I just think that everybody. I think your perception on life or your experience on life sometimes is unique, and I can't take away from his experience the same way he can't take away from my experience. But a couple reasons on why I support Trump, versus that other side. It's like all of the promises we always been put on the back burner, and I think that you got somebody that's actually taking action, and because we never seen it before. It's something that we never experienced before. We haven't seen in a while actually taking place. And it's unfamiliar. And it's like I told somebody just the other day on a panel, I'm like, yo, I guarantee you it's going to be a couple years from now, in the same way people woke up when Nipsey died. It's going to be trending on TikTok, social media. Yo, Trump was trying to tell us. Yo, Trump was trying to, all of this stuff that he's doing, when you start to see the results from it, a lot of people are going to change their perspective on it. And that's my personal opinion. I ain't trying to convert nobody or make nobody.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But let me ask you, because under Biden, all the immigrants was flowing in, right? But we had the lowest black unemployment rate, and Trump's getting rid of all these illegals, and our unemployment rate is going up. How does that work?
Well, you got to keep in mind, man, and just like I said, my experience is different from everybody's experience.
Definitely.
Yeah,
we're here to listen. We ain't no judge.
I know a lot of gentlemen, man. I know a lot of gentlemen that are they're too cool for certain jobs. I know a lot of gentlemen who feel that job is beneath them. There's several men who are comfortable with letting the woman pay the bills. If I can stay home and chill and she eating, and I'm not going to go above and beyond. Some people are happy with with nothing, So
I get what you're saying.
At the end of the day, I mean, I can't speak on everybody's experience. I'm just going on based off of the majority of the men that I've seen who are unemployed, man. And some people just really, when they come home and they've been incarcerated, they come home, they give up, man. Like they don't believe that the system is there for them or that they can ever make it ever since those mistakes.
Right.
For example, I know a dude, he had sex with a teenager. He's very college student. She was like 16, I believe. It's horrible mistake. He's very intelligent. And he came home, he did his time, he did like 10 years. He came home, like he gave up. Like he's not trying nothing. He gave up. And I don't feel sorry for him, but that's just how some people are, man. They give up, man.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you some shit. I'll be honest with you. I came home in 2006. Since 2006, I have bounced around from job to job, job to job. I have not once ever kept a job longer than a year before these last 5 years. Never kept a job longer than a year. I wouldn't give a damn what the case may be. Don't pay me right, I'm not coming back. Talk shit to me, I'm not coming back. You know, just don't feel like coming in, I'm not coming back. You know, but over the years, one thing that I did acquire and make sure that I did do was acquire a bunch of goddamn skills. And I just kept, you know, jumping back in the game whenever I, you know, felt, you know, economic decline. But, you know, giving up was in my thought, you know, because at once upon a time I gave up and shoot, I had pursued my career, you know, doing MMA, you know, did that for a long time. But after a while, it led back up. Financial problems, got to go to work. Got a letter in the mail saying I owed food stamps. So I went back to that thing of working a job, stopping, working a job, stopping. And then, you know, once I actually found a trade, which is what I'm doing now, operating heavy machinery, man, shit, it's finding a job so simple now. Like, once you find a trade, you know, just dig in. And what I'm doing now is not what I was doing 5 years ago. You know, I work in the forestry industry now. 5 years ago, I was working civil construction, doing roads, operating a roller, like a roller, shoveling. You know, between the roller, I was shoveling shit off the side of the damn sidewalks. You know, but I was like, man, I ain't finna be doing this. It took me about 1 week of picking up cones on the road, that one job. Also, this motherfucker tried to give me a 50-cent raise. By the end of that day, I had an interview because I went out and I sold myself as a machine operator. I had been in a front end loader maybe a total of 10 times maybe. I had been in a skid steer maybe 5 times or so, but that roller was my motherfucking friend. Damn right. But I went out there and I sold myself as a machine operator. Dude say, I'm gonna give you $20 an hour. You know how to run this loader. All right, I'll be there for the interview. For the end of that interview, I heard the man say, he don't know shit. By the end of that damn interview, I was walked out of there making $16 an hour, but it was $1.50 more than I was making at the other place, right? He said, I give you $1 for every piece of equipment you know how to run. Within 90 days, I was doing the job that I am now, operating the grinder along with the excavator. You know, I asked that motherfucker for a raise. He didn't want to give me a raise first time. Asked him for a raise again. He didn't want to give me a raise again. And, you know, I had already done my research, find out what this industry holds. He was like, what industry standards? Okay, cool. What industry standards? All right. By the end of the week, I was on the phone again. I was negotiating my way into another job. This time, you're not finna tell me what I'm finna be making. I'm finna tell you what I want. And it's been uphill since then. I'm a machine operator, and my underclass, what I do is diesel mechanics. You know, that's in the last 5 years. I had to learn that shit. You know, people don't understand. You gotta make your way in. You gotta make your way in life. You can't expect nobody to give you that. You can't expect them to acknowledge you because you work hard.
And that's what I believe in. I believe that a lot of people say Trump is a racist. I don't think he's a racist. I think he's prejudiced against the lazy. That's what I think. You know, he's prejudiced against lazy, man.
I mean, I ain't
because if we be honest, check this now.
Here I am agreeing with your ass, talking about that's what he like.
All right, but check this. Holmes. I see you laughing. I see you, Con. But check this, though.
Come on, bro.
Check this, though. Check this. Name somebody on this panel right now that doesn't have a little bit of racism in them, man. Name one person, man. Like
none of us, because we don't have any power to affect people's life. But everybody has prejudice. I will wholeheartedly agree with you.
So when we screaming racist, and let's, you know, hopefully we can stay respectful. I don't want to get into no, you know, cool. Man. You know, when we screaming race, sometimes a lot of people confuse preference with racist, man. If I have a preference, doesn't mean that I'm racist. If I want to hire you to do something versus hiring a white individual, doesn't mean that I'm racist. It just means that I feel that you're the better candidate for what I need done. Doesn't mean that I'm racist.
If you think about it, you know, we have been put in those situations and that type of authority to have the power to, you know, inflict some damage, you know, because we are teachers, we are judges, we are lawyers, you know, we are judges, and you know, we are police officers. But you know what? Hardly ever do we say, you know what, we go inflict this pain because you have done this to us. You know, even when President Obama became president, he didn't do anything just for us. He did it for the masses. He did it because he knew by helping all, it helped us as well. You know, that's what it was. It's not about, you know, so, you know, individually in our own capacity, I think that, you know, yeah, we can be a little bit
I kind of
racist
disagree.
and not like them motherfuckers.
Can I say one thing? He's racist because he was sued by the Justice Department for not renting to black people. So he is racist. And not only that, in the recent years, he's gotten rid of Black history. No, that was him. If you look at the lawsuit, it says Trump and
well, you can look at it. You
did rent to black people. So
he got
was full of black and brown people.
He got sued by the DOJ for not renting to black people
because of the programs that they were in. He didn't want the program. Didn't have nothing to do with
the person who initially filed the suit wasn't on Section 8 or anything like that. Yeah. He was making enough money to afford the Trump apartment.
Yeah, and they also found they were putting people that were black. They were putting C for colored on their applications, and they were getting denied because they were black. So no, he was sued. He lost. So he's racist.
So what about that black guy that don't rent to the black people? How do we classify him?
I mean, we're moving the goalposts. We're just talking about Trump and racism. When you say that you don't want to rent to black people, wouldn't that make you racist?
Nah, that doesn't make you racist if you can. No, listen. No, hold on. Let me finish. It wasn't just, my answer wasn't just a nah. If there's proof that this is the reason that the color of their skin kept them out of it, then yes, okay, I'll give you that. But if you got to show me proof where the color of their skin was the reason why they did not. We're not going based off of no internet, no AI video, or nothing like that. I want proof that actually happened.
You can read the lawsuit. They lost. It was the lawsuit with the DOJ sued, well, on behalf of this guy, sued the Trump. It's like it's not the LLC. They had like their, what is it called? Company, management company. And they named both Trump and his father in the lawsuit as also people that are defendants, not just the company.
Because Trump was the property manager at that particular property. That's why he remained in the lawsuit.
Yeah. So yes. So I mean, that's very clearly racism to me. And then we could also go into 2025. We could talk about him saying that civil rights was bad for white people. We could talk about him talking about slavery, that removing the Smithsonian exhibit, saying he doesn't want to see these Black history exhibits. I mean, we could talk about even when he removed the program for Alabama to get clean water. He said that was an illegal DEI a program, so he removed that. That was for clean water for Black neighborhoods in Alabama. All this is racism. I don't know how you can't see that.
But the one
in
thing,
2.25 miles, keep right.
Dang, Steven left on that joint. Hey, the white guy left. No, let me stop.
No, because just like I mean, I still don't believe that qualifies you as being racist, because at the end of the day, there's so many people right now, there's buildings where you're not going to come based off of your income, based off of your background check. There's so many things that disqualify you. And just like he stated, it was not me. It was the Trump management group. So at the end of the day, that's not a person, huh?
In which Donald Trump was the property manager. Okay. Like that's like you would have an argument if he wasn't the property manager on that particular property, but he was. So I mean, they kind of killed that argument.
So allowing Jennifer Hudson taking her and her family in at the time like that, like none of that matters.
Hudson?
No, you know what hurt him when he questioned the 2 non-black people that were running for election. I mean, running for the presidency. He was the only dude that. What happened? Everybody leaving? What the?
But they questioned they questioned John McCain as well. Why nobody talk about that? They questioned John McCain. Of his birth.
John McCain never questioned Barack Obama's.
No, they questioned him. They questioned John McCain.
How could
check
they
it out?
question John McCain?
All right, check it out. Let's pull it up.
Okay.
Hey, so let me ask a question. Let me ask. So what quantifies being racist? That's what I. Let's get a baseline.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not disqualifying that there's not racist people. I'm not disqualifying. Sometimes we confuse.
I'm not asking you about nobody.
What's your standards? He
what
said, "What's your standards?"
quantifies being a racist? That's all I want to know.
Disqualifying somebody because of the color of their skin or because their race.
You don't think Trump did that with Harris and Obama?
Nah, I don't think it was about that, man. I really don't. Because you had a lot of people. This is my thing, right? Let's say, for instance, right now, if you are Blood and Crip, right? But I'm not even going to use that because I don't even know the history on that, so I'm not going to touch that. But let's say, for instance, right now, you're just against something. Just like Mob D said, it's such thing as halfway crooks. Like either you all the way in or you all the way out. So for Trump to be, if you are what races I know, I never met a racist that kind of deal with blacks or kind of deal with another group. I never met a racist.
Wait, there's plenty of them. What? There's a lot. There's a lot, bro.
Especially when it comes to that money. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I just never met a racist. When you a racist, like we not playing. No way, shape, or form. Like I'm not trying to give y'all no break. I'm gonna make sure I keep my foot on y'all neck. I'm keeping y'all beneath me. Like there's appointed people, and not only in his companies but in his administration, where like the African Americans who he like, yo, let's go. Like just like I said, it's nothing against blacks. I think that it's like he's prejudiced against the lazy or against those that don't want, man.
Wait a second. That's that. Oh, go ahead, Cautious. Go ahead. No, go ahead. You want to?
We both got, but this is my thing. And then he got rid of the 300,000 black women, bro. Like all these, like why would he? Because the federal government was the biggest employer of black people, right? Mm-hmm. He got rid of all those women. I won't say unjustified, but pretty much unjustified. And then he brings in the good old boys networks, the PXFs. You know what I'm saying? The Linda McMahon.
But there's fun. But
that's what I'm saying. Like you don't have a level of standards for white people, but for black people, we got to do everything right. And then to get rid of DEI. But not, you know what I'm saying? Try and squash the good old boys network. That's what I'm saying. He's really bringing that good old boys network back. Like I'm gonna put you in because I know you, not because of your merit, and that's what hurts him. You know what I mean?
I don't
just
think
in my opinion, but go ahead. You got
nah. And you entitled to your opinion. I respect your opinion, but man, I'm just looking at it from a whole different, perspective than you are. And it's not that I'm in denial or I'm making excuses for nobody, because at the end of the day, I still believe that we all carry a dose of racism in us, no matter what the situation. There's times where I went to a party and I left because I'm like, nah, let me get out of here. I don't trust these ninjas. So at the end of the time, it doesn't.
Xenophobic though, not racism. That's xenophobic.
Yeah, but call it what you want.
No, it's racist. It's racism. And the reason it's racism because you're socially surrounding yourself around misnomers and subjective theories around said race. You could be black and still do it. I do it all the time. I don't want to be around you niggas sometimes. I'm racist based on that point. Because of the social dynamics of the race. That's just a fact. So he absolutely right. But that don't take away from what the standard is with the federal government that's supposed to be upheld by the Constitution. That's just what it is. You can have your racism all you want. Racism in and of itself is not the factor we're talking about here. It's about what the civil liberties say all of us got and how are they being disembarked through policy. That's what Trump fucked up at. That's
Yeah.
just a fact.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming at it from, because even if you, first of all, you said that everyone can have a dose of racism in them, so that means you would admit that Trump is racist at some points then. So I guess we could acknowledge that he is racist. The second issue, the second issue is that like there are policies that directly affect Black people, directly harm Black people to remove them, and Trump did that. So even if you want to talk about it from a Black community standpoint, he's not beneficial to the Black community if he's harming it. I mean, clean water is essential. So what would possess him to say, I'm going to roll back policies that help the Black community, help them have clean water? Like, that's just insane. So I don't see anything that Trump is doing that's good for Black people specifically, or even good for the economy generally. It's more good for people who have large corporations, who are part of the 1%, who are those billionaires, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, any of those people that have all of this money and just continue to accumulate wealth. Like, this is not for Black people at all. So I don't know if you're coming at it from like a Black community perspective, like trying to see what he's done for us. But for you to say like he's a good for the Black community, that's just not true. I mean, from I said, he's not true.
I do believe he is in so many different ways, man.
What ways? Give me two.
And because just because of even the terrorists right now, even with the terrorists, like, you got to keep in mind that just because there's not an immediate effect, you got to trust the process. So at the end of the day, you talking about somebody who's like he goes hard for the tax breaks, for the tax cuts. Whether it's even the upper class or the corporate or whatever you want to say. But no, I believe that in the I'm not going to say years to come, but soon I believe that we're going to get rid of taxes. Like, we're going to get rid of it completely.
I really want to, like, what you're saying. I'm not being rude. I don't want to be rude or like, this is my opinion. But I'm just hearing a lot of, I believe, I think it's going to happen. We don't see it now, but it will be in the future.
But you can't tell. You sitting there telling me that you got a president that was in office.
Yeah.
And everybody swear, like, what did they had 12 years. Why all of a sudden all of this is important? What are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for yourself?
Well,
is
that's
the question.
Wasn't that the whole 2024 campaign?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
What you mean? What's the whole 24? Yeah. You mean to tell me?
What are you going to do for me? What is Trump going to do for me now?
You had 8 years. You had 8 years. You had 8 years with Obama. You had 4 years with Kamala. That's 12 years, right?
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me
you can't do that though? How many years we had with Bush? Both Bushes, and then Reagan.
Okay, but you're looking at it like this. Like, you're talking about somebody. You're talking about somebody who was only in office like a year and some months.
Well, he was in office in 2017. So the policy that he is doing now is the same policy he did back then, except expanded. Back then, if you just look at, it was 2018 or 2019 when he implemented the tariffs on steel and soybeans. If you just look at what happened to the industries, the steel tariffs that he did increased the price of steel to the point where homes, like in 2020, if you remember that where home prices skyrocketed and there was not enough supply, it was because of the steel tariffs that he did. And that industry couldn't even import enough steel for them to break even. Same with soybeans. Right. In fact, soybeans, that decimated their industry by billions of dollars. They haven't recovered even today. I mean, even this new tariffs that he put didn't help them at all, but they haven't even recovered throughout the Biden years because of those tariffs.
I'm not going to speak on that because I don't have the stats in front.
No, I got you. I'm just saying, like, he's implemented the same thing.
He had to bail them out. It was so bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
like,
now we got to bail them out again.
You can't implement a policy that failed the first time, and then you tell me that just trust the process when we trusted it for 4 or 5 years. It didn't work.
So we're just going to ignore all of the not only the fraud, we're just going to ignore all of the reckless spending on transgender mice in Australia and stuff like that. Like
transgenetic. That was transgenetic, bro, not transgender.
But regardless of, like, we're taking words and we're trying to make it because I used the wrong term, you still know what I'm talking about.
Real quick.
So Trump said transgenetic.
Real quick, the farmers lost $51 billion already this year.
They lost 51 billion because he did all those tariffs, and it hurt the most biggest client we had was China.
China, yeah. And
China went to the competitor that he gave them $40 billion. So how can you claim American first when he's given the other country more money for the farmers to compete against these farmers in the US? That they're on Fox News crying right now, saying that they should have never voted for Trump.
Yes, down here in Georgia.
That's why he went to Iowa.
Fox News
to
is
try
not
to
reliable.
kowtow. He went to Iowa. Remember, he just did the Will Kane show, Ron. He was in Iowa to try to kowtow to them Iowa farmers that are fucked up right now. He wanted to try to get them reassurance because they already know what's about to happen. And this time it's going to be worse. Why? Because now China getting in bed with a lot of these other transnational companies. And you're seeing Keir Starmer just came from China. Mark Carney, PM Canada just went to China. They doing deal. Because, hey, it's a wrap for you. It's a wrap. Trump, if you want to threaten us with tariffs and screw over our transnational partners, hey, look, we're just going to go to the other country. And guess who it's going to hurt? Middle America. The people that's out there that's pushing, hell, my industry in logistics. We fucked up, man. I don't think we're going to make it to 2028, to be honest with you. I'm going to just keep it real.
Make it.
But we're going to be out here living like Mad Max. Hey, that's just what it is, bro. Because this time, when we go into this economic collapse, it's not going to be a world event. It's going to be isolated to the United States this time because it's all man-made.
It seems like he is trying to get a closed market where we only deal with each other, which is not good.
Which is not pro-capital. That ain't pro-capitalism.
Man, but this is my thing, man. You got people, man. You got so many people, like even on these CNN panelists, man. Like, you mean to tell me, man, all of these, like even I do believe that was staged yesterday. I don't think that was real. I think it was staged, to be honest.
What are you talking about?
The Omar incident?
Yeah, I really do think it was.
If that ain't real, the earshot heard around the world ain't real either. How about
okay, but at the end of the day, so you mean to tell me right now, right? If I come and I spray some unknown substance on you, you mean to tell me you're gonna go back to the podium and speak instead versus going to wash it off and finding out what it is?
If somebody spray something on you, what you gonna do?
I'm going to wipe it off. I'm going to the.
Man, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
So what I'm going to do? I'm gonna leave it on me.
You gonna whoop his ass first. That's the first.
Yeah, but they removed him, and you went back to the podium to preach, to speak.
She wasn't affected by whatever it was, so she kept it moving.
So how you mean, man? Come on.
We need to get you a louder mic, conscious.
They testing the material now, but Bob Marley once got pew and went out and had a concert that night because he said if evil is working as hard, goodness has to be working just as
and then when you slow the camera down, you see when she flagged him. Like they slowed it down, and you see when she takes the.
But these are conspiracies, bud. Like, can we just stick on the topic? Like, we're talking about terrorists.
Man, I'm about
to
follow you, and when it comes out, because you know it's going to come out. You know it's going to come out. When it comes out, huh?
I said I'm already following.
All right, okay. So at the end of the day, man, we're gonna have this conversation again, man.
Yes.
I mean, I don't care about her like that.
But you gotta.
I don't care.
So tell me this: as a masculine man, right? I don't know y'all sexuality, but as a masculine man, you mean to tell me that y'all are okay with men going in your daughter's bathroom, men playing sports with your daughter? Like y'all are okay with that, man?
Wait. So it seems like it was about that, bro. It wasn't about the other stuff you're talking about. It was about this.
Nah, man, because I want my name to live on. I want my name to live on, man. And I don't have nothing against that community. I respect those that understand that, okay, I may have, feelings for the opposite sex, but not to be going around teaching these kids that you teaching our little boys that you can have babies, man. That's where I draw the line, man.
So why can't you just teach your kid correctly the way you want to teach him? Wait a second. I'm not done. I'm just saying, my fault. No, you're good. I'm just saying that's how I grew up. My parents were the most Christian you can be. As like, let me just leave it there. Most Christian you can be. They taught me it's like all the things in the Bible. They taught me how to behave, well, how to act, and all that kind of stuff. I grew up with that same mindset. When people were telling me things about anything that I went against what my parents said, I was like, oh, my parents said something different. I'm just going to go with whatever they say. They taught me in the way I don't really believe in most of the stuff that they say now, but I'm just saying back then, it was like your parents teach you, they raise you, they quote unquote indoctrinate you, honestly. And then when you go out into the world, you just come back with, hey, I learned about this in school. Like, is this true or is this false? And they come back and we talk and we just see about reality in the world. They taught me at least this one thing that I really liked is they taught me there are people out here that believe different than you and think about things different than you. When you see that, come and talk to us and we can discuss it. So in real life, you're sheltering your kids to the point where in real life, when they go out in college and they see the things that you're hiding from them, they'll be like, oh, well, this exists. So it's no big deal because I don't like it necessarily. So I'm not up for it. I'm not like involved in it, but they're doing it. It's cool because they're just doing their own thing. I don't know why we have to force other people to conform to us.
And I get that.
Problem.
And I respect that, right? You're 100% right. But this is the problem that I have with that. Do you know how many young children that are at a certain age, what age do you agree that children are impressionable?
Impressionable?
Yeah.
I think you're impressionable. I mean,
7.
yeah.
Okay, right? Okay. So why are you trying to put that in the school at that age?
What are you talking about specifically? Be very
I'm talking about with the just having exactly. Like what is the end game in that? What is the goal? What are you trying to accomplish by doing that?
Tolerance, acceptance. That's what it's really.
Yeah,
That's what
exclusion. That's what it is, and that's just how we evolve as a society.
No, that's not true.
It is true, bro. I don't care about.
No, because you accept it because society. I think a society has made you accept it. So now you defending it with all your might.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept it at all. You got if that's going on and where your child learns in that school, guess what you can do? Now this is where freedom come in. Guess what you can do? You can take your child out of that school. It's amazing what you can do, right?
Okay, so you mean to tell me right now, with them removing the U-turn, you think that that's okay?
U-turn.
Hey,
the U-turn sign. They removed the U-turn sign and the cruise control sign. They said it's very good. They said it's very
not
efficient.
proudly that they didn't. So again,
Pull it
that
up.
goes back to what. I'm telling you, I see U-turns signs all the time. So what I'm telling you,
they just did it. Pull it up. I don't want you to think that I'm sitting on here just running off at my mouth.
First of all, federal government don't got the ability to do nothing like that. That's state stuff. So,
okay, still, regardless, it's still like.
So guess what you can do? Again, this is where freedom come into play. It's a wonderful thing. Guess what you can do? You can move out of said state.
But why do we sweep that under the rug, man? Like,
it's not sweeping it up under the rug. It's saying that all around this country, you got different amalgamations of people, right? Some of these people may go with this stuff. Some of these people may go with a certain other thing. Freedom comes at a cost. That's what I'm trying to say.
Freedom ain't free.
No, go ahead. My fault. I mean to interrupt.
So what I'm trying to say is, you sitting here trying to regulate something on the federal level that the Constitution clearly says that you cannot do. And this is the hypocrisy of the MAGA maniacs, right? All of a sudden now, MAGA maniacs are communists down there. They want the government to do everything, federal government. The whole time I'm sitting here thinking states' rights, and that's what I signed up for. But the Republican Party is no longer the Republican Party. And that's what we're dealing with. I can't sit up here and tell somebody up in Connecticut or Vermont that they can't choose the way in which they govern their society. If they want boys and girls bathroom and the process of democracy dictates it, so be it. That's just a fact. Whereas I may not like that. So guess what? I'm not going to peruse in your establishment because I don't like what you're doing. That's called freedom. DEI, somebody brought up DEI. I think what Ron said, Trump got rid of DEI. He don't have the ability to get rid of DEI. What he did was threaten the private companies in civil rights litigation if they didn't get rid of DEI. So the companies backed off. We're talking about private companies, Target and Walmart and all these. These are private entities. What right do the government got to tell them what the hell they want to do? I thought this was a Republican stronghold. That's what I thought. These were principles that was instilled in conservatives. No longer the case. So all I'm saying is, identify the hypocrisy in what Trump is doing. Anti-white racism. What the hell is that? It's a game. It's a game being played to say, hey, look, I want you to do something. If you don't do it, we're going to make up all type of shit in order for you to do it. It's a game. That's all it is. He's kowtowing to, even if you don't want to say Trump is a racist, guess what? He kowtowed to the ones that are. That's a fact. So let's stop playing games. It's a game of numbers at the end of the day. What can I do to placate to the numbers? Now, part of Trump's numbers are racist. That's just what it is.
So it seems
you can be racist all day.
It seems to see that your whole thing was about the social issues, right? That was the main thing. That's why you voted for him. That's what I'm asking.
But my thing is what? It's only like really less than 3 or 2 million Transformers here in the country.
Less than that is like 1 point something.
Yeah. So I don't understand why there's such a big factor here. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's a culture war thing. It was a CRT at first. It was CRT, and then it went to DEI, and then it went to T people. That's the new target. That's the next one. I just don't know why we keep allowing, and then now it's illegal immigrants. So it's like, yeah.
Even with sports, like, because I always hear that you're gonna let men into women's sports. It's literally in the NCAA there are 560,000 athletes. Seven of them are Transformers,
and they haven't dominated anything. By the way, 7.
Like they're not even a factor. I mean, but I think if you raise your kids, I want to say with acceptance, but like people like I think Gator said it earlier. People are different. People are gonna be born different. What you have to do is have discernment to realize if this person is good or bad, like because it really don't matter at the end of the day how they're. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What they look like on the outside is really what's on the inside. Like, because I could be fine as hell and be detrimental to the country. Am I really a benefit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if you got a shit person racing kids, then they're gonna raise shit kids.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah, I just don't know why we focus on that. We make it such a big issue when it's like you're trying to what's the word? It's almost like you're trying to stoke fear. It's fear mongering, I guess. Like they're gonna come for you, or they're trying to attack you, or something's coming down the pipeline. When gay people have existed through all time, the T people have existed for all time. There's even cave paintings and all that kind of stuff about T people. So it's like they've existed. They're around. They're just around. They're just there. They're not hurting or harming. You just have to see the individual, like you said. If that person is doing something bad, we can talk about it. But we don't have to demonize a whole group because of some people. And I think that's my whole problem with MAGA in general. It seems like if an illegal immigrant does something bad, we demonize a whole group of illegal immigrants. Doesn't matter about them. They're all bad. If any one person in any of these groups does something bad, we demonize the whole group. But if a white person does something bad, a white T person does something bad, we say, oh, it's just that one person. Why don't we say the whole group is bad? We don't do that with them. I don't understand why we have to do it with these marginalized groups. I don't get it.
Because the majority needs to feel safe. That's just what it is. It's no longer about constitutionality and civil liberties. All that shit go out the window. Just make me feel better. Make me feel good. I mean, and that's just what it is. It's sad that we can't, as a society, be to the point where we can have a civil standard. I mean, that should have happened a long time ago. but because they're afraid of and I don't use terms like white supremacy and all that ain't me, you know what I'm saying? But I can also understand the dynamic of people fearing like they spot on the totem pole per se. You know what I mean? And from a social standpoint. And that's what the majority fears. And at this point, I can't even really say it's the majority because we know that dynamic is dwindling on its own. I mean, you know, especially in some of the Democratic states and cities, like there people don't give a damn about that type of shit. You know, but again, in middle America, they isolate. They like to see what Trump is doing based on their own isolation because they feel isolated. They figure the country should also be isolated. But it's tunnel vision. It's single minded. It's dumb. The society will always progress, and it's eventually gonna pass by them either way. So
Go ahead, Liv. You're gonna say something, I think. Live, love. By the way, this profile picture is scary, but go ahead.
Now, for real, when I started the page, I was just gonna be something funny, but it just evolved to something different. But now, man, for real, these people are just pushing one narrative, and for me, it's not even a matter of what party you support. It's a matter of morality, man. And if I feel like anyone that's still supporting this man, to me, just has no morals. Well, you got no values, and you can't tell me nothing different. And for me, they're just pushing fear to try to scare people into following what they want. And it's all a matter of fear and diversion. So they want to keep you busy with all these little things that keep going on everywhere else to keep your mind away from what they really doing. And we all knew this was going to happen with Project 2025, what he said he had nothing to do with. We all knew what was coming. You know, everybody tries to act like, oh, it's such a surprise, but this was all written already. We all knew his agenda. A lot of people just chose to ignore it and act like they didn't know that he was a part of that, and they did. So for them, it's a matter of being in power and staying in control and having people be in fear. And for me, you know, myself, I'm Dominican, I'm Hispanic, and everybody kept telling me I got to take my Dominican flags off my truck because they're going to come for me and this and the third. And I doubled down. I bought me a 6-foot fuck Trump flag and put that bitch on a trailer hitch. And I'm trolling my white city. I'm trolling my town right now, fucking with these people because the way I see it, if you want to be loud and obnoxious, you know, you're going to hate me for nothing. I'm going to give you a reason. So, you know, my trap stands nice and proud. And my neighbors, I got a couple of Trump supporters. You know what I mean? I live in a decent neighborhood, but they're just as loud. They got their Trump vans signs up. And for me, I'm a one-man protest, one-man army. So I'm going to keep it going and keep it saying, fuck Trump. And if you like Trump, fuck you too.
Oh my God.
I don't know, man. You know what's the funny part though, man? If there was anything Trump could do, he could get reparations passed. Me and my homeboys talk about that the other day. Like, you know what Trump could do? He could get reparations passed, but I know he won't do that. But I don't know, man. I didn't knock Trump for being a businessman with those tactics, but I think when you bring in the tactics that he has into the presidency, it is literally just for himself and not for others. And it seems like the president at least tries to give the appearance that he's working for all and not just a few. And it just seems like Trump is doing the opposite. If you ain't down with me, then I'm not doing anything for you. And I think that's what hurts him. But you know, I could be wrong.
No, you're right. His approval rating is like in the 30s now, low 30s. So I think people are starting to look up. I hope.
I think it was this Pew Pew and this latest Pew Pew, man.
Yeah.
I think it's really starting to turn people.
And
you know
he
what I mean?
actually made $1.5 billion in 1 year.
That's stupid. You know, he probably made more money than he did these last 7-8 years than he did his whole lifetime. It seems like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, this just beginning, man. He got a lot more money to make.
That
A lot
crypto,
more money to make.
I think, because you know he like one of the biggest crypto owners. I just found this out too.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
trying to. He's setting up his family though. Like I just, they getting that money. I hate to say it, man. It irks me a little bit. Like
And like I said, you know, you brought up the crypto thing. That ain't gonna last long. Look at what's going on with AI and everything. To me, AI is not gonna be here for long. To me, eventually it's a bubble that's eventually gonna pop. These AI tech companies and all that's getting in bed with Trump, they know the time to make the money is now. Because this ain't gonna last long. You know what I'm saying? Let's get as much money as we can. AI, Palantir, and
1 mile.
And like you said, crypto. I just saw an article today. One of the stable coins just bought all this gold. Gold, you know, gold is like $5,300 right now.
Going up like crazy in silver.
Record high. Something. Everything is here saying something is about to happen. I don't know what it is. Something is about to happen financially that's going to devastate us all. So all these conversations we having about Trump, it really don't matter at the end of the day because we all going to be in the soup line. So that's just what it is.
I'll be right there with you. I'll be right there with you.
I don't want to, you know, be doom and gloom, but
we
none
gotta
of
be
this makes
realistic
sense.
too, though. We gotta be
None of that makes
realistic
sense.
too.
There are
Like,
some
that's just what
moves,
it is.
there are some moves in the international community because I saw, because of this whole Greenland fiasco, they are starting to see about dropping, like there's conversation about dropping US bonds, starting to do counter tariffs like the EU. I remember they had their quote unquote trade deal, which is essentially the same thing, but they said now they reject that and they're actually going to put tariffs on us. And the first company I think they've banned Zoom in the EU now. So I think they're starting to make some moves to start isolating us. And if they go all the way, I don't know if maybe they're going to slow down because Trump is kind of going off of the Greenland thing. But if he comes back to that, I really think they might drop the American dollar or something. I don't know. They're going to do something crazy. But if they do, that's the end for real. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that one.
Once we get off when the world gets off the fiat currency, it's gonna be a wrap for us.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, our own local economy, like, you know, we maintain and do what we do. But you just said it, Ron. If the world get off fiat, that's gonna be the transition point. That's just what it is. We'll survive a couple of years after that fact.
Right.
But once that standard of the US dollar turn
right.
Hey man, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. You think stuff expensive now? Man.
Hey.
Right.
You said $1,700 for a burger. What? You know what it's gonna be like though? Our money gonna be like pesos for real. That's what I'm thinking. It's gonna take so many dollars to equal up to anything in this country. That's sad,
inflation,
man.
Well, you see that they are trying to replace the Fed chair, Powell, with somebody else to reduce the interest rates. So that'll be a perfect storm. Low interest rates and inflation. Oof. That'll be fun.
I think we'll be good because, you know, with you know, I hear what you're saying, but I think by the grace of God, man, I believe in a mightier power. And when we get rid of all of this trans and all of this other stuff, man, I think, you know, we'll be good, man. I'm a firm believer God is in control. God is on the throne.
Well, God doesn't say that America has to exist, by the way. God can be like, I don't want America to exist.
Nah, I think he's more concerned about you know, his word, all the commandments, not just that. I'm talking about all
Let
of
me
them.
ask you a question. When
Yes,
you
sir.
see two girls hugging and kissing each other, how do you feel?
How do I feel? I believe that's an abomination.
That shit is. I'm sorry.
That's an abomination. Rather, my flesh will allow me to like it. My flesh, yeah. My worldly ways, yeah. But spiritually, yeah, man, regardless. No, but at the end of the day, I'm just being honest. That don't make me I didn't make the rules, and if he need my help, I don't need to be serving him.
Let me ask you a question. You don't think God created those people?
If
I always think about that, like when God creates opposite things, maybe
those people were existed.
Real quick, I got backup noise. But go ahead.
I believe those people existed way like since the beginning of time. I don't think this is nothing new under the sun. What I think it is now. Huh?
I was telling Love Life. You got it.
Oh, what I think was happening now is the simple fact that, you know, these kids, man, you know, like stay away from my kids is in the Bible. I don't know the exact verse, so I'm not going to misquote it. But, you know, don't like my kids, like bring the children up as they supposed to, man. And that's where I have a huge problem with. And then, you know, it's funny how, you know, the word is thrown around. Why are we messing with the illegal immigrants? But then the illegal drug dealer or the illegal, I seen so many people that were smugs, that were selling smugs, and their grandmothers was thrown down, and they when the houses were raided 5 and 3 in the morning, when the mass DA or the police came in, man, nobody said nothing, man. I know a couple innocent parents, man, who their sons was dealing smugs out of their house, and their houses was nobody said nothing. But then now all of a sudden we want to protect the illegal. The word is illegal. Plain and simple, it's illegal.
I think y'all get it twisted. We're not protecting the legal, we're protecting rights.
But regardless of the fact, right? Where was the protection? Where was this protection when Obama was in office? Why nobody was?
They had due process.
Nobody said nothing.
When you just said when a young guy is selling rugs, and 3 in the morning they go into his house and grab him and have his parents stand outside, he still has a due process.
Yes, he still have a due process, but why are we making it seem like
send him away?
Okay, so why are we sitting there saying that if there's a due process, but you interfering with this due process?
King.
Why are you resisting?
King.
No,
Even
what
if
we're
you
saying
win a debate
is,
even if you win that, like a debate, making it what you said make sense, afterwards people are going to be like, yo, you were wrong. Even if you slam the mic, like, yo, what I said rocked.
Nah, we having a conversation. We was having a conversation way before you came in.
I'm just letting you know, like, because if you say as an example, imagine if I'm hustling and DEA comes and they throw my mom down on the ground, right? It's not, oh, well, how come y'all didn't cry when they threw my mom down, but y'all crying about it doesn't match up. I get what you're saying.
They're both illegal. It's a criminal act.
It's not a, bro, but it's not a W.
No, but it's a criminal act. What's the difference? Explain to me the difference.
Crossing the border.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
No, we can't. We don't. Regardless of the fact, having marijuana is a misdemeanor in some states.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Would you have real quick, Ward? Let me ask you this question. Would you? I think Democrats and Republicans want illegal immigrants who are criminals out this country. Would you agree to that, right? Because I want that.
No, I don't agree to that.
So you don't want the illegal criminals?
No, I do want the illegal criminals and the illegals out.
But hold on,
you said criminals. You said criminals.
I'm just talking about just the criminals. I'm saying if an illegal alien comes here and establishes himself, starts working hard, starts paying taxes, and the only thing that's messing him up is that he's an illegal immigrant, you don't think he's a productive member of our society?
No, not at all. I think
I wish. Can I tell you something? You know what?
Regardless if he's paying taxes, he asked me a question. Let me answer this. He asked me a question.
All right.
So
you got it.
So this is what takes place, right? Whenever you go to these foreign countries, their rules and guidelines are some of them are way worse than the United States. Even when you go on a cruise, they let you know, I wouldn't advise you to get off this boat without your passport or your ID. It can get ugly for you, right? So there's a process that is put in place. There's so many men and women. When we start opening these borders to just anybody, and then the thing about it, not only are we opening these borders to just anybody, we're funding them. Where here it is, you, I, and all of these gentlemen up here, the Americans, hardworking American citizens who's paying taxes. We don't get the benefits. We don't get the things that they get when they come here. Why? How are you going to cater to somebody else before you cater to a U.S. citizen?
No,
Pocket
that's false, bro. That's false, bro.
So let
No,
me
that
ask
is,
you,
man.
what do
You
they
can't
get?
tell me that's false when I
What do
talk
they
to
get?
people who actually did it. I talk to people who actually came here and got money.
You're pocket watching.
No, I'm not pocket watching. They explained it to me. Let's stay respectful.
No,
Wasn't
but
pocket watching.
why does it matter how much money they get?
Why does
It's
it
your money.
matter? Then it shouldn't matter how much money Trump getting. You just sat there and broke down his pockets.
What? That's a different point. I'm
No, it's
saying, why
not.
are you?
Hold
I'm
on.
saying, why are you focusing on? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Why are you focusing on Trump money?
Because he's using the presidency to get that money. That's the problem with that.
Man,
And I'm gonna give you like when he released his Bitcoin that has no. His Bitcoin has no value, right? No value. I'm gonna meet you up real quick. No value, right? No value. I'm gonna meet you up real quick. I'm sorry. I got slow hands. But when he released that Bitcoin 3 days before the inauguration, you don't think that was using the presidency to gain money? And he made $650 million off of that. You don't think that's wrong to use the presidency to earn money?
Nah, I gotta see those stats in front of me, man, because he was already a businessman. You talk about somebody who has businesses. That's just like when they always yelling the 33, the 37 felonies and all of this. Yo, you talk. If you look at how these felonies, how they call each charge, like it doesn't even make sense. Like you got one real charge that's stuck, and that's the money that he gave to her. That's the bribery money. So then now here it is. Count one is how he handled how whoever handled his funds added this one wrong. Count two is how this one was written in the book wrong. Count three was how this was filed. And like they don't when they tell this felony, when they say he's a convicted felon, they don't tell that part of it. Like they run with the narrative. They say felon, they attach felon and just run with it. Everybody just run with it.
But that's fraud, no?
Regardless of the fact, but at the end of the day, like you're making it seem like this is an individual that has 30-something felonies. No, they just broke it down. Like it's like let me see, how can I explain it? Like
No, I understand it's different counts. He has 34 counts of the same thing. So he did it 34 times.
Because they ran with it. Like they just like, come on, man.
But the problem is you're defending fraud right now.
No, I'm not defending fraud. You're defending illegal immigrants, so we both the same.
But you're cool with fraud.
But you're cool with illegal.
Yeah,
illegal
I am.
Immigrants.
But I am. But that's the problem. That's the difference between you and me. Is I'm cool with the illegal immigrants. Not gonna lie, I'm different on everyone on the panel. I don't know what they think. I don't care. I personally do not care about that at all. But the problem with you is that you are saying that you care about fraud. You want to make sure everyone is doing everything kosher. But you voted for a person who's not only a fraudster himself. He's defrauded kids' charities. He's pardoned fraudsters that have defrauded the American people billions of dollars. It doesn't seem like you care too much. It's just about these people you don't like. I don't know why you're focused on them.
He let go of 12 people that frauded $1 billion altogether. $1 billion. And all of them were white, not black or Chinese or any other race except white.
Since our
in the
comments.
Since our first president, they've been calling each other fraudsters since then. What are you guys getting at? Like, you guys make no sense. Check this out. Let me put you up on game. You all talking about Trump, like that fucking matters, but they've been paving over our fucking United States of America, killing our free food. And now we got to go in the stores and buy that shit. But y'all ain't talking about that. Y'all ain't talking about that shit. Y'all talking about some Trump shit like, is America great again? No, this shit's been going on for fucking
the caucasity of him.
Hey, but what I was saying something, but yeah, he fucked me up with that shit. I thought I had a rider with me. I thought I had a little buddy, man. He get the fuck out my car with that shit.
But I mean, damn, what was we talking? I'm
he came out left foot, man.
But this my thing. Like, and I'm gonna end it with this. Not when I end it, but everybody was in the upheaval about Hunter Biden making money off the government when Barron. What Hunter Biden say they made 20 million? Barron has made $150 million.
Well, is Barron around there getting in trouble and using his father power to get him out of it? Did Barron leave a bag of coke, smugs in the White House?
Why do y'all just come up with these narratives, bro? This is so weird. This is so weird. Where do you guys get this from?
Because
I just don't, man.
a lot of Trump
I think we
supporters
should both hold them to the
have
same
Kool-Aid.
standard.
Okay, so check this. Before we leave this panel, I don't want none of y'all to think that I am against immigration or immigrants coming here and being successful in the United States. I'm just against illegal immigrants not following the due process. I don't care how much you came over here and you're doing good. If you didn't follow the guidelines to be here and go back and renew your visa and this, that, and other, and I can speak on this because my father, man, the majority of his company was immigrants. Some were illegal, but the majority of them were immigrants. And they were at the company making more than I did. They were making more money than me. So
So let me ask you a question. When they're doing everything by the book, right? And they got a court date and they're working hard, paying taxes, staying out of trouble, and they go to court and here comes ICE grabbing them right before they go to court or when they're coming out of court.
Okay.
Is that legal?
So
Is that okay?
Okay, so now let me ask you this. Okay, there's a thing called investigation, right? Whether we like it or not, whether we agree, there's a thing called investigation. Some investigations, they don't get this information to the public. We're not disclosing how we get this information, where we got this information.
I just want to know.
But check this. Hold on. You're absolutely right. But then two things can be true at the same time. If I'm coming because you're going to court, yada, yada, yada. But in the process of you going to court for due process, and I find out that you have fraudulently received funds for whatever reason, and I come and I grab you and you want to get on the news and say, yo, I'm an American citizen, this, that, and other. All ICE roundups are not because of because of your status. Some of this ICE grab up is because of fraud, man. Yes, it is. How you gonna tell me that's not true?
That's outside the boundaries.
Man, dude,
understand that, right?
Oh my gosh, you talking about?
Listen, that's outside the boundaries of what ICE got like authority to do.
No, that's not. No, because you got to keep in mind. Hold on. When you are doing process, aren't you told that you can't get in no trouble doing this process?
Right, but you can't get in trouble with state and local
so you can't say that.
Where's the state? You making stuff up, man.
No, I'm not making stuff up. When I have somebody who actually experienced it, how am I making this up?
There's been I think they said it was 13 people that's been arrested with this Somali fraud. They weren't arrested.
I'm not talking about Somalis. I'm talking about people. Hold on. I'm talking about people who some of them they were receiving food stamps. Some of them were receiving housing checks, and they were not. They were going through the process and receiving these funds, and their documents were not legit. So at the end of the day, you committed a crime in the midst of.
Listen, you're killing yourself.
No, I'm not killing myself.
No, listen, I'm telling you, you're killing yourself because you're talking. If I'm an illegal immigrant and I fraudulently do food stamps, is that federal responsibility or state responsibility?
Man, you still revoke. Your bond is revoked. That's like me saying because I got a state charge.
What?
That's I don't understand what you're talking about.
That's the conditions.
In order for me to be flagged by ICE or whoever, in order for me to be flagged, there has to be some type of charge.
Hold on. Let me so I can read this to you. So I don't want you to think that I'm just on here just talking, man. If you notice, whenever there was something I didn't know nothing about, you notice I shut the fuck up. Like you seem to be quiet. Yeah.
Please
That's what I did.
elaborate. Go ahead.
I like that. I like that.
Go
He
ahead.
said, if I don't know that shit, man, then I shut the fuck
Hey
up.
man, I appreciate your honor, man. Like you one of the realest maggots I done ran into on here, man. So I appreciate you even coming up and rocking with us, bro. And sharing your opinions. We ain't here to judge. We just here to
Yeah,
understand.
me neither,
So
man. Because there's some things that I agree with. There's some things that I agree.
You said you're finna read something.
Yeah, hold on. I'm pulling it up.
Okay, all right. Because I'm trying to figure out how would the federal agency even know to go after these people without a charge? I'm
Doge.
trying to figure that out.
Doge.
What?
Doge. This dude's trolling.
No, I'm not trolling, man. I'm just fucking with hold on. I'm pulling it up, man. He's still talking. That's all I had right then. Hold on.
So while he waiting on that, I brought up the example of the Somalis, right? No doubt there was some type of fraud going on. I know that based on the fact that there was a state investigation and locked the people up responsible. ICE didn't know nothing about none of that until it was brought out by the state. This whole fiasco behind the Somalis in Minneapolis is only there based on a state investigation. Do everybody understand that? I mean, that's just what it is.
But didn't they already like? I think they got like 70 Somalians, and then they got the ring.
Okay, can I read it? Can I?
It was 13. It was 13 main people.
Can I read it to you? Can I read it to you real quick?
Go ahead.
All right. ICE what's that? Has the authority to investigate, arrest, and remove. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. ICE has the authority to investigate, arrest, and remove non-citizens, including those with fraud charges, such as document. Yeah, hold on.
Damn, you King had me so sorry trying to help him like remove.
Yeah.
Don't continue because you just killed yourself on what you just
Nah,
read.
hold on. ICE has the authority to investigate, arrest, and remove non-citizens, including those with fraud charges such as document fraud, lying on immigration forms, or marriage fraud. ICE prioritizes arresting individuals with criminal convictions or pending charges, using administrative warrants to target them for removal. So at the end of the day, and I'm not going to read the rest, but the rest goes even. It's
No,
going
you ain't got to because you killed yourself.
How? Explain to me. Tell me how.
What was the key word in what you just read?
What was the key word? ICE has authority to investigate, arrest, and remove non-citizens.
Keep going.
Including those with fraud charges such as document fraud.
What's
Okay.
the key word in that sentence you just read?
I don't know. You got to tell me.
Charges.
It's charges.
Charges. Uh-huh.
How did they get them charged?
How did they get those charges?
Yeah.
I guess from however they, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know their best. I'm not in there. I'm not in law enforcement.
Let me recalibrate. Who gave them the charges?
Say again.
Who gave them the charges?
Okay, that's just like, okay, can I say something to you? As an ex smug dealer, sometimes I've been approached by regular police deputies, and guess what? I thought I was good to go. And then guess what? The narcotics had their own special warrants that came in and told the regular deputies, hey, this, that, and the other. So you just because you're not aware of the warrant or you're not aware that we are aware of your charges doesn't mean that ICE don't have this information and they're basing their arrest based on that.
I didn't say that. I never said that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you again because you didn't answer the question. Who gave them those charges?
Who gave those charges? It could have been however they do the investigation. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to.
We can assume that it would have been local and state government, right? We can assume that.
Well, however, you just I don't know. I can't speak on that. I'm not gonna. You're not gonna.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't. If I don't know, why would I sit here and talk about something that I don't know?
So in summary, exactly. In summary, ICE doesn't have the ability to charge anybody. That's what I'm saying. Telling. Nor does Border Patrol. They don't have that ability. Their ability is to enforce immigration law. They do that via warrants and particular charges having to do with immigration. That's what they do. That's why they call immigration and customs. Now they do work sometimes with like DEA and stuff like that on customs related arrests, being drugs and so on and so forth. They don't have the ability to charge anybody. So what I'm telling you is ICE can go in and detain somebody based on charges. You just read that in summary. Illegal immigration, I don't agree with. I stand with you wholeheartedly with that.
Yeah.
But what's considered illegal immigration? Is an asylum seeker an illegal immigrant? Yes or no?
Nah, I can't speak out. I don't think so.
So you said you don't think so. I'll go with that. So what I'm telling you is we don't have any information as to who's being arrested by ICE or Border Patrol. Most could assume a lot of these quote unquote asylum seekers are being illegally detained. I think that's an issue. Okay, I'm just be honest with you.
Me personally, man, I really do like. Me personally, this is where, and I'm not being funny right now. I'm being dead serious, man. I lost a lot of loved ones, man, in the name of all from that smug that started with an F, and it was labeled as cardiac arrest, man. And it's like I'm very passionate about it because I watched a lot of mothers cry, I watched a lot of fathers cry, man, and our children, man, could be one pill away from. So I try to, that's serious, man. That's not no joke, man. And we losing them like in the millions. Like you go to any other country, they're losing their people in the thousands. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes millions per 4 years or something like that. We losing people a million a year. So I'm very passionate on that, man.
I too know a lot of people that done overdose. Like Ron, I'm new to TikTok, bro. I don't know what words you can and cannot say.
Me neither.
I didn't know that was a thing.
You got almost because an American company bought it, so I don't really know how it's going. But you got to almost talk like you talking to a kid instead of saying.
Well, let me say. What about opioid? Can I say opioid?
We gonna run with it. Go ahead, man.
All right.
So
I too, bro. I live in the South. I know a lot of people that done passed away from overdose of opioid. That's a fact. But guess what? It's not gonna stop. The drug game is just like any other industry here. This is America, bro.
Yeah, but
we love guns, drugs, and sex. It ain't gonna never stop.
But
I'm not no dumbass to that.
But at the end of the day, right? That's like me right now, man. A lot of things, man. It's like if you got an Apple iPhone and you update your iOS, man. There's a lot of things that's changing, man. And sometimes we've convinced ourselves that, this will never end, this will never end. And at the end of the day, if you feel that, I'm very optimistic. You know what I'm saying? If you feel that that's the situation, man, then I hate to say it, no disrespect, then you are part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Because I do believe that I do believe that we can change. I do believe that we can be better. But if we keep telling ourselves that this is the end of all, the world is doomed, is this, that, and the other, man, I really do feel that we're going to get the same way COVID snuck up on us and we had to adjust to a new norm. I think what's going to happen, we're going to have to adjust to a new norm and we're not going to like it. And it's not going to be for no 1 year. It's not going to be no quick fix. And if we around here playing and taking this freedom that we have for granted, we hate that we hate the fact that we got somebody that's trying to